Hey guys, I'm Carissa, a friend of your Filipina lawyer. I am also a lawyer here in the Philippines, and I'm here to talk about something that most single or divorced foreign nationals wanted to know, especially for those who are planning to marry their beautiful and loving Filipinas. So, after quite some time of getting to know your Filipina or dating her for a while, and you realize that you want to be with her for the rest of your life, you would now be thinking of marrying her and expect to be with her until your last breath. Now, if you have decided to marry her, after proposing to her and your proposal has been accepted, the next thing you would be doing is to prepare for your wedding. Whether you are planning to have a civil wedding or a church wedding, you have to satisfy certain requirements before you can tie the knot with your fiancé. What are the requirements in order to marry your Filipina? First, you need to secure a marriage license. I recommend getting marriage license about 2 to 3 months before your wedding date. To do this, you have to visit your local civil registrar in the city where you want to be married and submit the following documents. First, certified true copies of birth certificates from the Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA. Second, notarized affidavit of parental consent or advice for applicants below 25 years of age. Third, latest certificate of no marriage or CENOMAR or certificate of singleness. Fourth, certificate of attendance in a pre-marriage counseling, family planning, and responsible parenthood seminar. And fifth, valid ID. Regarding the certified true copies of birth certificates, to save you the hassle of waiting in queue and getting the original copy from the PSA, you can secure one from psa.gov.ph. For foreign nationals, you may obtain your birth certificates from your country of origin. Regarding notarized affidavit of parental consent or advice for applicants below 25 years of age, if both parties or either one is between the ages of 18 and 21, under Philippine law, notarized parental consent is required from the father or mother or guardian. Those mentioned can either personally appear with valid ID or provide notarized consent. But if both or either one of the marrying parties are between the ages of 21 and 25, notarized parental advice is needed. The parents or guardian may appear in person or just provide a notarized advice saying that they are completely aware of the couple's intent to marry. What if the parents refuse to give consent or advice? In the event the parents or guardian refuse to give any consent or advice, sworn statement of the couple can be submitted stating that such advice has been sought and the reason of their refusal. This sworn declaration must be attached to the application for a marriage license, in which case the marriage license will not be issued until after 3 months following the completion of the publication of the application. Unlike when the parents or guardian give their consent or advice, marriage license may be issued within 14 days from the submission of the application. Regarding the latest certificate of no marriage or certificate of singleness, this will prove that neither of you was previously married. Both parties, whether foreign national or Filipina, are required to request this document from the Philippine Statistics Authority. You may secure your certificate of no marriage at the Philippine Statistics Authority through a walk-in or by their e-census or through online. With regard to pre-marriage counseling, it is conducted by the church for church weddings or the Department of Social Welfare and Development for civil marriages. Each municipality or city hall has its own health department, specifically the Division of Maternal and Child Health, who is in charge of conducting family planning and responsible parenthood seminar. Family planning and marriage counseling seminars are most of the time combined into one program and done at the same venue. Most municipalities have a specific schedule within the week when they conduct the seminar. Make sure to check the schedules first to better plan ahead. Regarding the valid ID, it is required to show that one or both of you are resident or residents of the city, town, or municipality where you are applying for the marriage license. In addition to the requirements that I've previously mentioned, for foreign nationals, one has to submit the following. Number 1, a certificate of legal capacity to marry by the consular office or embassy of his or her country. For British applicants, it will be an affidavit or affirmation of marital status. For U.S. citizens, its consulate is not allowed by law to make any certification about your eligibility for marriage in the Philippines. What it can only provide is an affidavit in place of the certificate of legal capacity to marry, which you can secure by appointment from the U.S. Embassy in Manila or through a walk-in application at the U.S. Embassy in Cebu. Number 2, photocopy of your passport showing the date of arrival and data. If you have been annulled or divorced, you also have to provide certificate of finality of annulment from the court and certificate of registration in the Local Civil Registrar. In case of a widow who wants to remarry, the death certificate of the deceased spouse is also a requirement. Applying for marriage license requires both parties to go to the civil registrar of the city, town, or municipality where either of them resides. It usually takes 2 weeks for the marriage license to be released. Can you use your marriage license anywhere in the Philippines? Yes, you can use your marriage license anywhere in the Philippines and you have 120 days to get married once you have secured it. Otherwise, the license expires and you need to get a new one again. Now, when you have your marriage license, what should you do next? Of course, get married within 120 days. Maya Angelou once said, "Love recognizes no barriers. It jumps hurdles, leaps fences, penetrates walls to arrive at its destination full of hope." Is there a need for your girlfriend's parents to be present during the wedding? The absence of your girlfriend's parents will not affect the validity of your marriage. The law does not require parents to be present or witness the solemnization of your marriage for it to be valid. The law only requires the presence of at least 2 witnesses of legal age as a formal requisite of marriage.